welcome back. It is the Vegas Take, Sharp and Shapiro. Glad you could join us. It has been an interesting show, to say the least. It's been a lot of fun. My thanks to Warren Ligari, from the director of the NBA Summer League, for joining us in studio. Warren is just a great guy. He's a good friend. I've known Warren for years, and he's one of the most genuine people I've ever met. It's the truth. And he does a fantastic job with the NBA Summer League. Again, that starts up on Friday, sold out Friday and Saturday. We just gave away a pair of tickets for Sunday. And we had presidential candidate Seth Moulton in studio as well tomorrow on the show. Yeah, we didn't forget about tomorrow, did we? That's right. It's In the Ring with Michael Avenatti. He joins us from 7 to 8. Michael Avenatti will be joining us in studio tomorrow, and he's going to be bringing a very special guest. His name is David Beatrice from Ohio, a key Democrat who predicted the outcome of the 2016 election. He pulls no punches. And he wrote articles about he thought Hillary Clinton was going to lose the election. Guess what? He was absolutely right. He's going to be joining Michael Avenatti on the show tomorrow. And I think I can say this, but we are planning on making a huge announcement tomorrow on the air. I can't say what it is right now. But it appears as though I just have to get one more okay from somebody. And once I get that okay, we are planning on making a huge announcement, a huge Vegas Take announcement starting the show tomorrow. We are really excited. We are giddy to make this announcement.
It will change the game, and it will also extend the game.
Yes. We can't say – wait, are you talking about Viagra? What are you talking about? Extending. I don't know what that means. But
you can take that for what you will.
Okay, fine. Fair enough. But we are hoping that we can make this announcement in the first segment tomorrow, and we will be very giddy to do so. So you want to stay tuned for that. It's a big Vegas Take announcement, and what better way to do it than the night before the 4th of July? We are going to be taking off Thursday and Friday. We're going to play Best Of. Don't worry. You'll still be able to hear our voices on the radio. Maybe we'll play a Jameson segment.
It'll be all Jameson.
Yes.
All Jameson all the time.
Well, Jameson.
And only Jameson's voice.
After making
Not
those
even our voices.
Yes. Jameson Welsh is our hoops guru. And Ken Thompson just came in the studio, and he said, wow, you are really, really good. Well, Ken, what do you think? I have horrible people on the radio? Jameson's one of the best in the business, man. That's why I call him our hoops guru. We have Jameson Welsh, our hoops guru. And we have Dennis Silvers, our golf guru. We have a lot of gurus on the show.
But here's the thing, Brian. A lot of people, they're very knowledgeable, but a lot of people are very biased.
Mm-hmm.
So it's very difficult that you get people who are very authentic in their viewpoints, especially when it comes to saying whatever you say on air or live television. Because we all are fans of certain teams. We all have our teams and players we root for. But when you're working, you have to put all biases aside. And not a lot of people are able to do so, and that's why that's one of the things I try to be alert.
No, you're excellent with that, and I hate to when I not to get into politics, but when I criticize the Trump administration, people automatically assume that I'm biased. I did the same thing with Barack Obama. I did the same thing with Hillary Clinton, and I hate when people assume that you're biased. But you're right. In the sports world, there are a lot of people that are biased. There are certain people that will not.
A lot of people compromise too.
Yes,
we could talk about that if you want. There's a lot of people who are. They benefit from having a certain viewpoint, whether it's a certain player.
Well, let's just talk about UNLV and the media in this town. We could just say that.
Yeah,
let's call it what it is.
We can go there, but they need to win some more games before we talk about them.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, we don't need. It's July. We don't need to talk about them.
No, we're not. Well, some shows do that.
Yeah, we can talk about the Aces winning by 8 today, though.
Yeah, we'll talk about the Aces. I'd rather talk about the Aces.
There are some shows.
The Aces have 500,000 Instagram followers. They're
That's
really good. They're really good at branding and marketing.
That's a lot of followers. So, look, some shows want to talk about the 3rd and 4th line right now in August or July. It's July, isn't it, of the Vegas Golden Knights? That's just not what we do.
I remember that.
All due respect.
Last July, we listened to that segment. It was 2 hours long about the third.
I can't do that. But
it was horrible.
Listen, when the hockey season is going on and when the play, that's the appropriate time. But I just don't think in the off season people really want to hear stuff.
All right, Jameson, where is Kawhi Leonard going? Is he a Laker? Is he a Clipper? Or is he a Raptor?
I thought we were going to ask him a question about the 3rd line of the Knights. I don't know what you
mean. It's a hell of a question. I've heard from like 10 different people on this. I've gotten Lakers the majority of the time, and I've gotten the Raptors on the same deal Brian mentioned a couple months ago. The 1-1 go back to Toronto. I've heard that from a couple of people. I've heard Lakers from a lot of people. And there's one source I have. It's located in Sacramento, California. It's like a brother to me. He says that Kawhi is probably going to the Lakers unless something random take place. He's probably going to the Lakers. And I trust him with almost everything. and anything and everything. So if I had put money out, I would say the Lakers wouldn't put a whole lot of money on it. If I had put some coin, I mean, everybody's a whole lot of money is different.
Right.
Some
Well,
people,
I mean, futures odds right now, they're anywhere from plus 175 to even to plus 120.
Right.
That's a large difference.
Mhm.
I want to bring up the Boston Celtics. I think
Why?
that Kyrie Irving hurt the chemistry of the team. I think a lot of people did. It wasn't just Kyrie's fault. I'm not putting all the blame on him. Don't think he was the right fit in Boston. Certainly with not those types of players around him. I think that Danny Ainge has made some boo-boos.
Some?
Yes.
A whole lot.
He made a lot of boo-boos.
Quite a
lot.
few.
Yeah, he failed.
Quite a few mistakes.
That Nets package, when the night they got that Nets package, we all thought that was a package to carry the Celtics into the next decade. We all thought, hey, they got that package. They're about to get a star player or two. They can draft a couple of guys. Next thing you know, they're going to take over. They failed. The only things they have from that package, they have Jason Tatum, solid young player, Jaylen Brown, solid young player, and they have Memphis's pick coming up in the next couple of drafts. That's it. For all the stuff they've had for that package, they should have more to show. They haven't got to the finals in the East when they got that package. There's a lot of – he doesn't get enough blame for their shortcomings over the last few years with the package and assets they've had.
All right. I mean, fair enough.
You know, James, I'm of the opinion that lineup as it is, where you've got Kemba Walker, Jason Tatum, Jaylen Brown, Gordon Hayward, and is it Enes Kanter?
Enes Kanter's probably the starting center right now.
Okay. I think you have to trade Jaylen Brown. Am I wrong?
You don't have to trade anybody.
Who's playing the four?
You can figure it out as you go, but you don't trade the young guys unless you're not going to extend them. If you plan extending them, you keep them. If you don't, then you trade them. However, I think Kyrie got a lot more blame than he should have regarding this. Brad Stevens isn't getting that much blame for this, and he has a lot more influence in the situation than most people want to talk about. I like Brad Stevens a lot. I think he's a top 7 to 10 coach in this league right now and climbing. However, his insistence in putting Gordon Hayward into lineups and forcing the ball into him and running plays for him when you got a bunch of guys fighting for contracts, that was a huge problem that no one talked about up until recently. And I saw during the regular season, you've mentioned a couple times, but it's starting to get mentioned more and more now. Kyrie is the fall guy, but he's part of the issue. He wasn't the whole issue, and it's unfortunate he's getting most of the blame for it.
Let's talk a little bit about the Brooklyn Nets a little bit. Now, I'm going to give you my opinion, my take on this Kevin Durant situation. I don't think that Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving are going to work together. Now, that is just my personal opinion. For the record, I believe Kevin Durant is arguably the best player in the world when he's healthy. Now, we don't know. Nobody knows exactly what's going to happen when he comes back, but let's just assume that he's 100% when he comes back. Let's assume. And again, I don't know.
He won't be 100%.
All right, well, maybe not. It's a very serious injury. I'm not saying you're wrong, but I'm just giving a hypothetical. Even if he is, I don't think he and Kyrie Irving are going to mesh well together, just like Chris Paul and James Harden don't mesh well together.
It's different, though.
How about Kevin Durant and Russell Westbrook?
That's different. Totally different situation. So Kevin Durant can mesh. I mean, Kevin and Russ did some really good things together. The issue there is they both got hurt in random years, and they were pretty much the favorite to win the whole thing. With that being said, though, I think Kyrie's a bigger issue because he gets hurt a lot. He's a big injury risk as well.
He's a liability.
Yeah, so I mean, I think that's more of an issue I would have more than the meshing. Kevin Durant plays a game where you don't really have an issue meshing with him. He's one of the few guys that people want to play with because he can mesh with anyone. He can fit any system you run. You can put Kevin Durant in and you're fine. But my issue is he has an Achilles injury, a rupture. That's the worst injury you could have as a basketball player is a ruptured Achilles at 30. He's gone for this season. The season he comes back, he's going to be trying to get into the groove of things. At best, that second half of that season he comes back, he's going to maybe get back to somewhere close to where he was at. That's almost 2 years away. Like that, you're asking a lot, and the East is way better now. The East has some teams that are really good. You mentioned the Celtics. They may be the 5th or 6th best team out East right now. You got the Sixers. You got Indiana. You have Milwaukee. If Toronto gets Kawhi back, you have some teams out East, and we never know who makes a move to get better.
I mean, if you look at the Sixers starting five, Ben Simmons is 6'10", Josh Richardson is 6'6", Tobias Harris is 6'9", Horford or Embiid 7'1". I mean, that's one of the tallest teams in NBA history.
And they're all skilled. Like, that's the thing.
They're
That's not all there. They're all skilled.
And
so
they all play D.
That too. So if the Nets, it looked good. They won the headlines in New York. It's all about winning the press, winning the headlines, winning the front page battle. I don't actually fault the Knicks for losing out on these two guys because the Knicks have made so many bad signings with injured guys. James Dolan's like, hey, you know what? I've paid Allen Houston a bunch of money. He got hurt. I paid Amari Stoudemire a bunch of money. He got hurt. I was about to pay Kristaps Porzingis a bunch of money, and he got hurt. You know what? If I miss it on KD on Achilles rupture, I can live with that.
So let's talk about the Warriors. They do a sign and trade for D'Angelo Russell. They pick up Willie Cauley-Stein today. They trade Iguodala after he runs his mouth. What happens with Russell? Do the Warriors have a shot at winning the West next year?
So Iguodala was out regardless because he's 35 years old, making $17 million. We all knew that. The Breakfast Club interview was a reaction off what he'd already been told. He was told he was getting moved. Man.
Right.
We all knew once you lose a championship, any high-priced guy once you lose, all bets are off. If you're a high-salary role player, you're out of there. With that being said, they don't have any defense. Like Draymond's Draymond. They signed Willie Cauley-Stein. That's cute. But they don't have any defense in their backcourt. Clay made Steph a lot better defensively because he's able to cover up a lot of things, and Steph could guard the other guy. I mean, if you have a D'Angelo Steph backcourt, you're asking for a lot of issues.
All right.
So you're thinking that 90% of the Warriors games next year are going over then?
That, and I would not be surprised if the Warriors miss the playoffs.
Really?
Wow.
Because the reason why I say that is because Steph Curry misses 15 to 20 games every year.
Right.
So when you had Klay Thompson and Durant, that's okay. You still got 60 points. Those guys are gone now, so who makes up that? So that's my issue is that once those guys aren't there and Steph misses, let's say he misses 12 games. In the West, with the way teams are reloading and getting guys and potentially Kawhi coming west, good luck.
Kemba Walker to Boston. I wanted to talk a little bit about that. I like it, actually. I think it's a good fit for Boston. I think Kemba Walker seems like he's very happy with this situation. He seems like a guy that is going to distribute the ball a little bit more, and it'll take a little bit of pressure off of him. He's never really played with an all-star player before. Not to say that the Boston Celtics have a loaded, but look, Gordon Hayward's a good player. I think he's going to be better without Kyrie Irving. I think that's fair to say. I'm excited as a Celtics fan. I like the decision.
You should be because, I mean, it's a good save. You know, you lost Kyrie and Al Horford for nothing. You get an all-star back. It's not the worst of things that could happen. It actually turned out okay. However, I caution people that invest big money into guards because in this league, you win with your wings. Your wings are the guys that carry you. Even as great as Steph Curry was, Kevin Durant came and became Kevin Durant, and that team became unbeatable. With the Celtics, as long as Brown and Tatum are on that team, however those guys develop and carry them, that's how far the Celtics are going to go. If Brown and Tatum become all-stars and all-star stars or whatever like that may be, they're going to be contenders. If they become 16, 17-point a night scorers, then that's kind of where your team's going to be. It just really depends on their growth. Kimba's going to be Kimba. He's going to get his 25 a night. That's cool. But you need the wings, specifically those two young guys, to really take off.
All right, let's talk. I know we had Warren Ligari, and we talked a lot of NBA Summer League, but a question I want to ask you is, what are some of the players that you're looking forward to see, some of the matchups? What interests you about the Summer League this year?
I'm not going to say the obvious. We all want to see Zion and R.J. Barrett. We all want to see Zion. I mean, that's always the thing. But there's some young guys that are on different teams. Anthony Simmons on the Portland Trail Blazers, he had 37 on the last game of the season. And Portland was playing like 5 guys. So they were Portland was kind of trying to tank at the end. They were trying to avoid OKC. As crazy as that sounds after it wound up. But the way the standings were, they were trying to avoid OKC. Ended up eventually getting them. They ended up winning their game. A couple of their teams lost and ran up playing OKC and beating them. But Anthony Simmons had 37. I've heard from a lot of people that this guy in practice just goes off. Like he's a all-star in practice. He's just young. So he's a guy I look for and see what he can do. But also, man, you have a lot of good young players. I want to see what the other Knicks players do because RJ is getting all the shine, but they have 2 guys that started games for them this year on the roster, Mitchell Robinson and Alonzo Trier. I want to see what they do because my rule for second-year players is this. If you're here as a second-year player, you better be the best damn guy on the court. You better be the guy that, why are you here? We need to be saying, why is this guy here instead of, oh, no. There's a guy that the Golden State Warriors played last night, Jones, I think Damian Jones, the center. He's third year. He didn't even start the game. That's why I was like, yeah, this isn't – when you're a third guy not starting for Summer League, it's time to get your passport ready.
Fair enough. You're just joining us.
And the Knicks are 10-1 to win the Summer League.
Man, come on, man. Come on, man.
Are they really 10-1?
Take a break, Jamie.
That's a joke. They're the leader, and they're 10-1.
That's a joke.
Take a break.
Should be 100-1. That's ridiculous.
They have the worst odds for the Summer League.
Should be 100-1.
Take a break.
They don't have a very good. What do you think about that, by the way? Betting
There's
the
nothing
NBA
else to
Summer
bet.
League. I mean, this is several years going on now. You can bet on NBA Summer
It's
League.
funny. So my guys at Red Rock, they were like, hey, we are very busy at every Summer League because there's nothing else. Because there's that weird gap of the year where MLB All-Star is. Because after Tuesday, there's no action until Friday from baseball. So you have that weird gap where Monday there's nothing to bet on. Tuesday's all-star game. So you have 4 days of really very limited things. So if Summer League things are up, people are going to bet it.
I
But
will
it's outrageous.
absolutely wager golf and Summer League.
Well,
Golf is different, but Summer League, man.
There's let me just give people an understanding. There's over-unders in these NBA Summer League games. There's first half betting. There's
Right.
it's just like a regular NBA game. And you can. There's actually with a few William Hill and there might be a few other books that do this as well. Now I'm not aware, but there is in-game wagering on every NBA Summer League
That's
game.
too damn far. That's that's enough. If you're doing in-game for Summer League, we got some issues. We got some issues, man. That's too far. Bet Summer League is one thing because a lot of those guys people don't realize they're about to go overseas. A lot of them guys on the roster about to go get a job overseas. If you bet on them dudes to get you your dinner or get you pay your bills, and good luck, man. Good luck to you.
Hey, if you could win money though, you can't fault it, right?
It's Summer League though, Brian. Like we don't know these dudes like that. Like these
So
guys
how are
don't-
they making spreads then?
Man, you know what? Those people who make the spreads, they're a special breed of people. But there's a market for
How
it.
do they know?
Man, sometimes they don't. Because
Listen.
I'll put it this way: there was a team last year I can't talk about, but there was a team last year that a player told me that we're going to be leaving first thing Friday because we suck. We suck. So there's someone who took advantage of that, and they made some decent coin off
Well,
of
you
that.
know what? I don't blame him. Jameson, thank you so much for coming in studio.
Okay,
thanks
Hoops
a lot,
Guru.
Jameson.
We always appreciate it. We look forward to catching up with you next week. Have a great 4th of July. My thanks to Warren Ligari, NBA Summer League Director. And, of course, we had a presidential candidate in studio, Seth Moulton. My thanks to him as well. Tomorrow on the show, that's right, none other than Michael Avenatti. He'll be joining us tomorrow. Stay tuned for that. The legend himself, Ken Thompson, coming up next. Thanks for joining us, everybody, on the Vegas Take on the all-new 101.5 FM, 720 AM KDWN.